Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So first off, I'd like to give a shout out to one of my Patreon supporters, Ben. Thanks for your support. Now, hopefully those in North America or in other countries that celebrated Halloween last night, hope you all had a great time. For those who gathered a lot of candy, don't eat too much, of course. That's detrimental to all our health, of course. But that being said, I was busy last night taking my youngest out for trick-or-treating, and so I just realized that yes, there is another 7-day encounter, being that this is the beginning of the month of November, and I see we have some pretty interesting and decent choices. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. So in today's episode of Should You Summon, we'll discuss the newest Fateful encounter here. Obviously, the 3 units featured are going to be the Violet Lancer. I know, sometimes I call it Violent Lancer. We also have AS Bertrand as well as AS Hismina. So again, with most 7 days, it's 7.77% for the 3 featured units. Pulls 1 to 9 have no up rate for the 4.5 for those units. And of course, paid encounters always have the highest chance of getting all the newest units, including the Almas, AS Lilies, and so on and so forth. So, unfortunately, with most 7 days, you only get a 7.77% chance of each of the 3 featured units. And so if you are targeting the 3 featured units, keep in mind that very much most of the time, which is 4/5 of the time, you will miss on those and get one of the other off banner 5 stars. Now, that being said, this banner is actually pretty decent. They're all Lance users, which is this month's theme, I'm guessing. And I'll start from the left here. Now, Violet Lancer has been a unit that I've used very often. She has a unique mechanic where if she is in the front line to start the battle, no MP is going to be used up for that first turn. And so, depending on the power of your team, that means you have 0 MP farming. Because even at lower levels, that is, if you're in early game, mid game, or even early end game, even if you need multiple AoEs to clear out mobs, you can cast all 3 without worrying about running out of MP in some of those dungeons or even the overworld, because as long as the Violent Lancer's there, 0 MP. Not to mention, don't forget that if she VCs in from the back, she does have an attack as well, which can clear enemies weak to earth, and she is an earth zone setter. She also has the ability to awaken zone. She has a dual debuff, very, very powerful abilities, and she has not so unique anymore, but she is the only unit with the overthrow ability where if the enemy has higher levels than you, then you get an advantage against that, which multiplies your damage. Now, of course, some of the newer Quadji gear has that too, but for those who haven't beaten Quadji in the highest levels, hey, Violet Lancer is a great addition to any team, whether or not it's Pierce, Earth, or just for farming. Now, AS Bertrand, unfortunately, has been a little bit forgotten, although, he is still near and dear to many of us. He can do some pretty unique tanking. He has 3 moves where he can basically reduce damage by, I think, 95%. I don't actually have the AS form, just a normal style. And he still has the ability to increase his physical resistance, cause rage, and so on and so forth. So as a Lance tank, he's not bad. However, at this point, he's really been power crept, even with normal style Garum Barrel, who's also a Lance unit, mind you. And if you are looking into Japan trailers and spoilers, you'll know that AS Garum Barrel should be coming out in the next few months as well. And don't forget, we still have tanks like AS Sora, which is also a Lance user, as well as if you're using Slash, you can always use AS Radius. Blood would always have Pry. And so, honestly, he's not really a prize at this point, although he is a Miglin's Palace unit, and so some people like that for the theme. Finally, AS Hismina, although she's almost, I want to say closer to a year old, I can't even remember at this point. AS Hismina is still a great water pierce unit. The way she can self-buff herself with type attack up, power speed up, and the number of stacks, and she can also hold back some of her most powerful single target DPS moves. She'll stack 5 stacks of one move, and then as she uses down the second move, she powers herself up, doing tremendous damage, and once she keeps her stacks up, she'll continue maintaining that tremendous damage all the way through until she either kills the enemy or she dies off. And so as a water pierce unit, especially in combination with some of the newer units such as either AS Foreign, you can still use AS Sheila, AS Yukino, she will do massive amounts of damage. Now the only downside, of course, is that for water, she has a lot of competition, right? You have water, magic, and we don't have to mention those 2 scam units out there. Ever. Anyways, so to summarize, I mean, of all the 3 units, Violet Lancer is really the prize. The other 2 are really kind of subsidiaries, although I would still say AS Hismina is definitely better than AS Bertrand. With most Fatefuls, unless you're really aiming for these 3 units, definitely pass. Wait for newer units to come out, and not only that, remember that again, Japan has announced the main story part 3 is now released, I believe, in Japan. We should be getting it in anywhere from soon to 2 or 3 months from now, which might coincide with our global anniversary next end of January. And so lots of new units will be coming out, I'm sure. Lots of new main story units. And don't forget, global anniversary tends to have global first units as well. And so if you're saving your paid stones or even your free stones, something to consider for the future. As for myself, of course, I will not be summoning on this, being that this is a paid banner, needs 1,000 paid stones or a heavens ticket, and I'm not accessing either of those at this time. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this banner. Are you going to even bother with it? Or have you already used your money on things like the Brilliant, which just passed a couple days ago? Or even saving your tickets for the future, being that this is a new month and you should have your heavens ticket at this point. Anyways, looking forward, I believe our next update should be the new episode of Apocrypha, if I'm not mistaken. And so that'll be fun, as most Apocryphas have a very long amount of gameplay. I'm looking forward to that, although in a way, not looking forward to it as well, being that that's just a lot of content to cover over a short span of time. Anyways, hope you all have a great week. And, again, have lots of candy and enjoy. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.